A voter ID law is a law that requires some form of identification in order to vote or to receive a ballot for an election.
Democrats say that requiring a government-issued ID may deter some people from voting. Republicans say that it will ensure fair voting and cut back on the fraud. This could impact minorities in particular. 25% of African Americans do not possess a valid form of government-issued ID, as compared to the 11% as the average for other races. Democrats don't want this because most of their voters are minorities. Those without voter IDs are usually disabled, old, or low income. Republicans try stating that Democrats support voter fraud, but that's false. We want our voters to have an equal opportunity to vote. Republicans want older white males to vote, but us Democrats want people of all ages and races to be able to have a chance to vote.
The next step should be for all people to only be required to have either a check, bill, card, license, insurance, or a school ID. A government-issued ID isn't necessary because voter fraud isn't a huge issue right now, so there really isn't a need for it. The best case scenario for our party is for all minorities to still have a fair chance to vote without it being any harder for them. A worst case scenario would be that a lot of voter fraud ends up occurring and we were wrong about our statements and what we were trying to enforce. The best case scenario for our country is that everyone has a fair and equal chance to vote without it being any more difficult than it already is. Worst case scenario for our country is that a lot of voter fraud occurs and the amount of racial injustice will be decreased, which will make a lot of people upset.
Being Democratic, our plan will impress many Democratic voters and urge them to vote Democratic again. It may even sway some Republicans to vote for us as well. By allowing all kinds of identification to be used for voter ID, many new kinds of voters and a whole new demographic will come through and vote in our party. This is positive for both the Democratic Party and our country.
By allowing more types of voter ID to be used, it will draw in many more people, which should economically affect the voting booths. It will cost them more money to make more voting booths and machines, and people will need to find larger places to accommodate the crowds.